Hello everyone and welcome once again to MJ's Maths and Stats. That's MJ Magic Studio to you, and I am your host, your host, and as usual always in the ghost mode, Mohit Jain, with a few questions. Today we would be discussing related to simple interest and compound interest, and you can expect two questions, one from simple interest and one from compound interest in TCS Ninja or TCS NQT examination. So the idea is very simple. Pause the session, try to solve the question by yourself, and then look out for the solution. 9 बज गए हैं and let's start now. So when I say interest, what does we mean by interest? Interest is something which we need to pay as rent for money taken. If we have taken money from someone, we need to pay them rent. Like if we are residing in someone's other people land, we need to pay rent. Okay, so we need to pay something in return. So whatever you pay something in return, if you are lending or borrowing money from someone, that term is known as rent, and the exact term that we use for the rent for money is interest. Now, interest is charged in two ways. It can be simple interest or it can be compounded. Compound interest. We call it simple interest when interest is charged on principal. Principal means the amount of money or the sum of money you have borrowed. If every time interest is charged on principal, it is known as simple interest, and it is known as compound interest when it is charged on principal for the first year, and from the next year we start charging interest on interest also. That's why the name given is compound interest. We'll start with simple interest, which is actually very simple. SI is equals to PRT by 100. P stands for principal or sum. R is rate of interest, which is generally taken as per annum. If it is in monthly, then we need to convert the time into months and so on. T stands for time, which is generally taken on yearly basis. So SI is PRT by 100. We can also write this as PIN, PIN, where I is nothing but R by 100. And instead of T, we are writing N. So it's look like a pain. Simple interest is PIN and it will give you pain. No. Okay. Now amount, which we popularly known as amount, is simple interest returned along with principal. So if they ask what is the amount to be returned, how much is the amount to be returned, so it is nothing but principal, mool, and simple interest, sood. That again can be written as P plus PIN, or it will be P into 1 plus IN. We know what is I. I is R by 100 and N is nothing but number of years. Mind this, N is always yearly, so I and N need to be worked out accordingly if it is not yearly. So those were the two simple formula which we use in simple interest. That's it. And there are few cheat code for simple interest questions. Like number 1, if R is known, then sum of money double itself in 100 by R years. So if it is given that interest is like 12%, then in how many years sum of money will double itself? That means your interest would be equals to the money invested. That's simply 100 by 12, that is 8.33 years. And other way around also, if N is known, then sum of money will double itself at the rate 100 by N% per annum. Suppose someone says that your money double itself in 15 years, then what is the rate, simple interest rate you are getting? It is simply 100 by 15, that is 6.67% per annum. Next type of regular question that we might see in simple interest is, suppose it is given that sum of money becomes 3 times in like 10 years. Then in how many years it will be 5 times? So it's simply 3 minus 1 by 5 minus 1 equals 10 by x. That is the simple cheat code that we use. Then 2 by 4 is 10 by x. X is equals to 20 years. So if it is times given, then t1 minus 1 upon t2 minus 1 equals n1 by n2. These are in years and these are times. This formula is only applicable in case of simple interest. See, sum of money becomes 3 times in 10 years, then it will become 5 times in 20 years. Becoming 3 times in 10 years means you are earning 2 rupees if you have invested 1 rupee. As simple as that. It is becoming 5 times, it means that if you have invested 1 rupee, you are earning 4 rupee. So here also simply you can see that to earn 2 rupees, you require 10 years. So to earn 4 rupees, how many years is required? To earn 2 rupees, you require 10 years. To earn 4 rupees, you require 20 years. On that basis, this formula is designed, which is now known as a cheat code. We can use it. Now, heading towards compound interest, there is no direct formula to calculate compound interest. Number one, we can directly calculate the amount. Amount equals P into 1 plus I to the power n. I is your effective interest rate divided by 100, and n is number of times interest is given. Like if I say that rate of interest is 12% per annum compounded half yearly, and you need to find the amount after like 1.5 years, then I in this case will become 12 by 2, that is effective would be 6% per half yearly or per 6 months. You can also call it per 6 months. Now, if interest is always given after 6 months, in 1.5 year, how many times the interest would be collected? That will become 3, and that will be 3 times. So in this case, amount will be P into 1 plus 6% is 6 by 100, and to the power n would be 3. So that is what we mean by I is effective rate and n is number of times interest is given. So this is the formula to directly find amount in case of compound interest, and hence compound interest will become amount minus principal, or P into 1 minus 1 plus I to the power n. Sorry, it would be this one is plus and minus 1. So first we need to find amount, and then amount minus principal will give us the value of total compound interest paid on principal P in that particular number of times, or that particular year or period at the given rate of interest. So now as far as compound interest is concerned, we are through with the amount and compound interest formula, and here cheat codes, 2 codes that we can use in general. First is rule of 72. This rule is useful when it is doubling. So if it is given the sum of money double itself at compound interest at R% per annum, then the time taken, or if n is given, then either way round would be 72 by R. Suppose it is given that it double itself in 7 years. Sum of money double itself in 7 years at compound interest, then applicable rate would be 72 by 7% per annum approximately. This is an approximate rule to find the doubling rate or the time in which it doubles. Same we can use rule of 113, that is for tripling. sum of money triple itself in 10 years. Then applicable rate of interest 113 by 10, directly we can use 11.3% per annum would have been used if money is invested at compound interest. These all are approximate rate, and with then finding the approximate rate with the given options, you can find the correct answer. So on this note, let's start with few questions, and if we get through some question where a new concept need to be learned or understand, we would be doing that. Yes, I have missed out with one concept right now, that is the difference between simple interest and compound interest. So I would be taking up when we will end up getting some questions on that, and we will discuss at that point of time. Okay, so we have a question on simple interest to start with. Rupees 8,000 become 10,000 in 2 years at simple interest. That means if principal is 8,000, amount becomes 10,000. That means simple interest collected is 10,000 minus 8,000, that is 2,000 in 2 years. That means total simple interest collected in 1 year is 1,000. Now we know the formula for simple interest, that is PRT by 100. So simple interest collected in 1 year is 1,000. Principal is 8,000. Rate we don't know, and time is 1 year. So rate is actually 100 by 8, that is 12.5%. We can keep it as 100 by 8. Now, the amount that will become rupees 6875. Here the amount means principal. They are looking out for the principal, that is the sum. The sum that will become 6875. Now this is the amount as far as our nomenclature of simple interest in 3 years at the same rate of interest. Now 6875 equals P into, and the formula goes like 1 plus RT by 100. 1 plus R is 100 by 8. RT, T is 3 years, and into 100, RT by 100. So if we solve this, this become P into 8 plus 3 is 11 by 8. Therefore, principal we are looking out for is 6875 into 8 divided by 11. And the calculator value would be 6875 into 8 divided by 11 is 5,000. So 5,000 rupees will become 6875 in 3 years at 12.5% interest rate. Option B fits in. Okay, the next one is also from simple interest. The rate of simple interest on a sum of money is 6% per annum for the first 3 years. So first 3 years applicable rate would be 6%. 8% per annum for the next 5 years. Next 5 years means till 8 years, then 8% interest would be received for next 5 years. And 10% annum for the period of beyond 8 years. This is beyond 8 years. If the simple interest accrued by the sum for the period of 10 years is 1560, find the sum. That means how much is the total interest which we have earned. For the first 3 years, it is 6% per annum. That means combined it would be 6 plus 6 plus 6 or 3 into 6, that is 18% in the first 3 years. In the next 5 years, the total interest collected on the principal or the sum would be 5 into 8, that is 40% of the principal. And for the next 2 years, because only 10 years is given, 2 into 10, 20% would have been collected. So this is 40, 50, 60, 78%. That means 78% of the principal is nothing but the total interest collected, 1560. So the principal or the sum we are looking out for is 1560 into 100 divided by 78. It will go 2 times 20, so that would be 2000. The principal we are looking out for is 2000. On 2000 for the first 10 years, interest collected would be 1560. Option B is the pick. a certain sum of money amounts to 6300 in 2 years. So this amounts to 6300 in 2 years. And it also amounts to 7875 in 3 years 9 months. 9 months means 9 by 12 of the year, that is 0.75 of the year. So I can write this as 3.75 years. Now, if we calculate the difference between these two differences will give us what? Will give us simple interest earned in 3.75 minus 2, that is 1.75 years. So it is 575 and 1. So simple interest earned in 1.75 years is 1575. Now we can calculate how much would be the simple interest earned in 2 years. 1575 is the interest earned in 1.75. So I am dividing this by 1.75. And if I multiply it by 2, I'll get 1800. That means simple interest collected in 2 years is 1575 into 2 divided by 1.75. That is 1800. This will help us give the sum or the principal. Amount is 6300 in 2 years. That means principal is 6300 minus 1800. There are 4500. Yes, 45 plus 10, 55 and 8 is 63. So that is the principal. And simple interest is 1800 in 2 years. Therefore, in 1 year, simple interest collected is 900. We need to find the rate of interest. So rate of interest would be interest collected over principal into 100. This is 5. 100 by 5 is 20%. 20% per annum simple interest is the rate of interest charge, and option D fits in. If a simple interest on a sum of money, simple interest formula is PRT by 100. On a sum of money P at 6% for 7 years is equal to twice of simple interest on another sum. So let it be P1 and let it be P2 for 9 years at 5%. Find the ratio of the two sum. We are looking out for the value of P1 is to P2. 100 out, 233. So 7P1 is equals to 15P2. Therefore, P1 is to P2 is 15 is to 7. And that is in option C. An interesting question to discuss. A sum of rupees 44,000 is divided into 3 parts. Suppose A, B, C. Such that A plus B plus C is 44,000. Such that the corresponding interest earned after 2 years, 3 years and 6 years may be equal. And rate of interest is 6%, 8% and 6% respectively. That means A into 3 into 6 by 100 is equals to B into, A was for 2 years, B is for 3 years, B into 3 into 8 by 100, and this is equals to C into 6 by 100. Okay, so if I cancel out this 100 so that I can make it in some equitable format, divided by 2, and it is 3 also gone. So what we get is 2A equals to 4B equals to 6C. That can also again be written as A is equals to 2B is equals to 3C. First try to find this proportional. A is equals to 2B equals to 3C. Then the ratio of A is to B is to C is nothing but inverse ratio of 1 is to 2 is to 3. And we know how to calculate inverse ratio. Height 1 multiply the rest 6. Height 2 multiply the rest 3. Height 3 multiply the rest 2. That means the ratio of investment of A is to B is to C is 6 is to 3 is to 2. Then the smallest part of the sum is 2. Smallest part would be 2 divided by 6 plus 5 is 11 into 44,000. That means smallest part is rupees 8,000 as far as this question is concerned. Option B fits in. Okay, this question is also in the line of the previous question. Let's see. A man invests an amount of 15,860 in the names of his 3 daughters A, B, C in such a way that they get the same simple interest after 2 years, 3 years and 4 years respectively. And if the rate of interest is 5%, since it is constant, we can simply say that 2A is equals to 3B is equals to 4C. Then the ratio of amount invested in the name of A, B, C, that means A is to B is to C, is nothing but inverse ratio of 2 is to 3 is to 4. Height 2 multiply the rest, 3 into 4 is 12. Then height 3 multiply the rest, 2 into 4 is 8. Height 4 multiply the rest, 2 into 3 is 6. That can boil down to 6 is to 4 is to 3. So the ratio in which the investment is made in the name of 3 daughter ABC 6 is to 4 is to 3, and that is in option A. Now we are on to the difference between the simple interest and compound interest. So if suppose we are investing rupees P at a same rate of interest R, or where I is equals to R by 100, and the same money is invested in simple interest and same money is invested at compound interest, obviously the compound interest return would be higher than the simple interest return. Now if it is invested for only 1 year, then difference between compound interest and simple interest for 1 year is 0, because for the first year simple interest and compound interest both are same. If the money is invested for 2 years, then to calculate difference we use the simple formula, that is P into I square. Pi square would be the difference between Ci and Si for 2 years, and for 3 years it would be P into I square into I plus 3. These are the basic two formulas which are readily used for 2 years and 3 years difference between simple interest and compound interest, that we would be using here also. So what it is? The difference between simple and compound interest on a certain sum for 3 years, that means delta 3, at 5% per annum, that means I is equals to 5 by 100, that is 0.05, is 228.75. This is 228.75. And this is equals to P into 0.05 whole square into 3 plus 3.05. Now, solving this, we can find the value of P. So, calculator value of P would be 228.75 divided by 3.05 divided by 0.05 and again divided by 0.05. That gives 30,000. On solving this, P is equals to 30,000. Now the question. The compound interest on the sum for 2 years at 5% per annum is how much? Okay. So that amount we can calculate for 2 years. That is 30,000 into, at 5% it is 1.05 whole square. Amount, then from amount if we cancel out 30,000, we'll get the compound interest. So 30,000 into 1.05 into 1.05 gives 33075. That means compound interest is 33075 minus 30,000, that is 3075. And where it is? It is in option B. Okay, so the next one is compound interest. A man borrows rupees 6,000 at 10% compound rate of interest. At the end of each year, he pays back rupees 2000. How much amount should he pay at the end of third year to clear all his dues? So at the end of first year, you would be paying, the due is actually 6000 plus 10% of this, that is 600. So due is 6600, but he repaid 2000. That means 4600 becomes principal for the second year. By the end of second year, he is supposed to pay 4600 plus 10% of this, that is 460. That becomes 5060. But he have paid 2000 only. That means remaining unpaid is 3060. So now at the end of third year, he is supposed to pay 3060 plus 10% of this, that is 306. That would be 3366. Yes, 33 and 66. This is the amount which he is supposed to pay at the end of third year to clear all his dues, and that features in option C. Now if on-screen calculator is allowed, we can do the entire calculation with calculator in one go. Like how? 6000 into 1.1, this is what is supposed to be paid at the end of first year, minus 2000. This is beginning of second year, into 1.1, this is what we are supposed to pay at the end of second year, minus 2000. This is at the beginning of third year, into 1.1, this will give 3366, which is the amount due to be paid at the end of third year to clear all his due. 3366, option C is the fit. What would be the compound interest on rupees 10,000 for 3 years if the rate of interest is 5% for the first year, 6% in the second year, and 7% in the third year? Okay, for simplicity, we need to calculate what? Amount first, that is principal, into first year interest rate is 5%, so this would be into 1.05, into second rate 1.06, into third year rate is 7%, into 1.07. And now if we want, we can use our calculator for multiplying this. So the calculator value that we'll get would be 10,000 into 1.05 into 1.06 into 1.07. That would be 11909.1. 11909.10. So compound interest would be amount minus principal. From this amount 11,909.1, if we deduct 10,000, we'll get 1909.10, where it is 1909.10 that features in option B. This is with calculator we can do, but if calculator or on-screen calculator is not there, we can multiply this and solve. That is also fine. And if it is not there, and if we are very good at our rules, we can use our rule number 3, that is of net change for 3 variables, and it is from our rule book. And in case of 3 interest rate, net interest received would be simply x plus y plus z plus xy by 100 plus yz by 100 plus zx by 100 plus xyz by 100 square. And this seems to be very easy, because whatever percentage we'll get using this formula, that multiplied into 10,000 will give us directly the compound interest. Using this net change rule, we are not supposed to find the amount even, we can calculate the compound interest directly. Now x plus y plus z, 5 plus 6 is 11 plus 7 is 18. 5 into 6, 30 by 100, 0.3. 5 into 7, 35 by 100, 0.35. 6 into 7, 42 by 100, 0.42. And 5 into 6 is 30, into 7 is 210, divided by 100 into 100. This will give what? 0.021. 0.021. So we have 0.30, 0.35, 0.42 and 0.021. That will give 191.0. That is 19.091. Bingo. Straight away we get the answer 1909.10. Now this multiplied with principal 10,000 will give 1909.10. Straight away we can get the compound interest value using rule 3. A money lender borrows a sum from market at 3% per annum simple interest. Okay. And lent it out to another person at 6% per annum compounded half yearly. If after 1 year he gets a profit of 618, then find out the sum borrowed by the money lender. Now this sum can be tackled very easily if we can find the effective compounding rate. Okay, this compound rate needs to be converted into simple interest rate. And how? Formula is simple. Effective rate is 1 plus I to the power n minus 1 into 100%. Now, what is this I in this case? I is the compounding rate. Compounding rate is 6% per annum, but compounded half yearly. That means I is 3%. 6 by 2. And n means how many times it is compounded in an year. So it is compounded half yearly. That means in an year it is compounded twice. So effective simple interest of this compound interest would be 1.03 whole square minus 1. Now 103 means 1.0609 minus 1 into 100. If I'll do, I'm left with 6.09%. So that is the effective simple interest on this 6% compound interest half yearly converted into yearly. Now this is the rate of interest he is getting, and 3% per annum simple interest is his payout. That means his gain is 6.09 minus 3, 3.09%. Now in numbers also it is given that his profit is 618. That means 3.09 by 100 of principal amount, or the amount which is being borrowed, is equals to 618. Therefore P equals 618 into 100. Okay, let me do it once again. Into 100 divided by 309. It goes 2 times. 2 and 4 zeros. 20,000 is the amount borrowed, that is in option C. This question is my pick, as I call it vintage problem. Like from years this kind of question has been formulated and solved, and we know that we have got 2 good basic designs to solve this question. Mahesh lent rupees 1 lakh, partly at 12% and partly at 10% simple interest. Let at 12% be X rupees, then at 10% it is 1 lakh minus X. After 3 years he got rupees 31,500 total simple interest. How much did he lend at 12%? So we know we can use the formula simple interest. Simple interest is PRT by 100 for the first part, and again PRT by 100 for the second part. We'll add them up and we'll get it as 31,500. So let's do it. X into 12 by 100 into 3 plus 1 lakh minus X into 10 by 100 into 3 equals 31,500. So 100 gone. Let me add 2 more zeros here. This becomes 31,50,000. Then 3 common. This will become 1050,000, 10,50,000. We have 12x plus 1 lakh into 10 is 10 lakh minus 10x equals 10 lakh 50 minus 10 lakh is 50,000. So 2x is 50,000, x is equals to 25,000. Easily. Option A fits in. At 12%, 25,000 is invested. If you are not comfortable solving with equation, obviously our rule 6 from the jungle rule book, butterfly diagram is the best way to find this answer. Now how? If the entire 1 lakh rupees is invested at 12%, I'm coming again. If the entire 1 lakh rupee is invested at 12%, this is all in concept of lion with butterflies. If the entire 1 lakh rupees invested at 12%, interest collected is 12,000. And if the entire 1 lakh rupees invested at 10%, interest collected would be 10,000. But the interest collected is 31,500 for 3 years. That means for 1 year, interest collected is 10,500. That we write in the middle, and we can see that 10,500 lies between 12,000 and 10,000. Our butterfly is ready and ready to fly. Difference between 10,000 and 10,500 is 500. Difference between 12,000 and 10,500, 1,500. So the ratio we get is 1:3. That means 1 lakh rupee is divided in the ratio of 1:3. We need the one part. We need this 12% part. That means at 12% money invested is 1/4 of 1 lakh. And 1/4 of 1 lakh is 25,000. This butterfly diagram is easy, simple to calculate, and I can avoid these tedious calculation. Use butterfly diagram. Option A is the answer. In this particular session, I have tried to come up with all different aspects in interest, simple interest, compound interest, annuities, and on those lines, the freehold estate value is the concept which is derived from perpetuity, that is perpetual annuity, which keep on moving and the life is infinite. In that case, or in case of freehold estate, the value of the freehold estate is given by rent divided by interest rate into 100, or it is simply R by I, if I is equals to rate by 100, and R stands for rent here. So the freehold estate was worth 50,000. That means its value is 50,000. If the annual rent on the property is 2,000, rent is given as 2,000. Find the rate percent per annum. So let the rate percent per annum be R into 100. So R equals 2,000 into 100 divided by 50,000. 3 gone. This becomes 2. That is 4% per annum. Option C fits in. Now again, pick this question because I want you to practice more of effective interest rate. Which is the better investment from investor's point of view? Obviously, the investment which will give us more return is better from investor's point of view. Now, first is investment which gives 9% per annum return compounded half yearly, and the second one gives 9.2% per annum return simple interest. So let us first convert this compounded half yearly into simple interest rate using this formula which we have discussed in previous question also. 1 plus I to the power n minus 1 into 100. In this case, I is 9% per annum compounded half yearly. That means I is 4.5%. That would be 0.045. And it is half yearly. That means n becomes 2 times it is being given or compounded in an year. So effective interest rate would be 1.045 whole square minus 1 whole into 100. 1.045 whole square will give 1.092025 minus 1 into 100 will give 9.2025%. So the first one, A, is giving return of 9.2025% per annum, and B is giving return of just 9.2% per annum. Obviously, investment A is giving an edge and extra return over B. So from investor's point of view, the investor should go for investment in A. This question is the pick because of EMI. How to calculate estimated or equated monthly installment in case of loan taken. Loan amount is equals to, let the estimated monthly installment be A, and it is monthly, mind it is monthly, A into 12 by I into 1 minus 1 plus I by 12 to the power n minus n. Now, what is this I? I is interest rate per annum divided by 100. In this case, I is equals to 0.15. Vipul purchases a car for rupees 5,50,000. He gets a loan at 15% per annum from bank. That means rate of interest is 15%, I is 0.15. And balance rupees 50,000 he pays at the time of purchase. So car is of 5,50,000, he gets a loan, and the balance 50,000 which he is not getting as a loan, he is paying from his pocket. That means loan amount is 5,50,000 minus 50,000, that is 5 lakh. Loan is taken for rupees 5 lakh. He has to pay the whole amount of loan in 12 equal monthly installment with interest starting from end of the first month. This is the very important criteria. This formula holds good when the first installment is paid at the end of first month. Okay, and how many installment he need to pay? 12. That is n. In case of here, n is number of installment paid, that is 12. The money he has to pay at the end of every month. That means we are supposed to find the value of A. Okay. So, to ease calculation, something is also given to us in the table directly. Let me first find the value of A directly. Let's do this now. Loan amount into I divided by 12 equals A into, I can write this as 1 minus 1 upon 1 plus I by 12 to the power n. If we can see how much is I by 12, 0.15 by 12 is how much? 0.15 divided by 12 is nothing but 0.0125. That means 1 plus I by 12 is 1.0125, and to the power 12 value is already given. So 5 lakh into 0.15 divided by 12. Let us calculate this first. 5 lakh into 0.15 divided by 12 gives 6250. So here we have 6250 equals to A into 1 into this is 1.1607545 minus 1 divided by 1.1607545. Obviously we need a calculator now. So 6250 into 1.1607545 divided by 0.1607545 gives the value of A, that is 45129. Value of A is 45129 point few pases, round it over to 45130. Option A. Estimated monthly installment is 45,130. It simply means what? If you have taken a loan of 5 lakh from the bank at 15% per annum, then if you are paying it off in an year on monthly installment, every month you need to pay 45,130. Okay, the last one from my end on this, hope that you will keep on practicing such type of questions, and we know that 2 questions are there in TCS, NQT or Ninja examination, one from simple interest and one for compound interest or mix of them. So let's do this. Shruti invested some money at 20% per annum for 3 years, compounded annually. That the money invested by Shruti is X. Rashmi invested 3 by 5 times more money than Shruti. Then Rashmi would have invested X plus 3x by 5, that is 8x by 5. 3 by 5 times more money for 3 years on simple interest. If they both receive a same amount after 3 years from the respective investment, the rate per annum at which Rashmi has invested her money is what? Okay, so both amount is same. Amount formula from compound interest, we know A equals P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power T. Here it is compounded annually. So let it be X into 20% means 1.2 for 3 years. This is amount for Shruti. This is equals to amount for Rashmi. And in case of simple interest, amount formula is P plus SI. That is P into 1 plus RT by 100. So in case of Rashmi, P is 8x by 5 into 1 plus rate we don't know, time is 3 years by 100. So X gone. 1.2 whole cube. 1.2 into 1.2 into 1.2. 1.728. So 1.728 into 5 by 8 minus 1 is equals to 3R by 100. Let's take help of our calculator again. 1.728 into 5 divided by 8 minus 1 is 0.08 into 100 is 8. That means R is 8 by 3%. That is 2 by 3%. 2 by 3% features in option C.